the Forbidden City. The Ming Dynasty, which ruled from 1368 to 1644, had established itself as a dominant force under the leadership of Emperor Hongwu. However, it was his successor, the Yongle Emperor Zhu Di, who would leave an indelible mark on Chinese history. In 1406, Zhu Di decided to move the capital from Nanjing to Beijing, and as well build a centerpiece palace known today as the Forbidden City. The Forbidden City was conceived as a representation of heaven on earth. According to Confucian ideology and ancient Chinese cosmology, the emperor was the son of heaven who acted as a divine intermediary. Thus, his residence had to reflect this cosmic significance. The palace was designed to embody harmony between man and nature, adhering to the principles of Feng Shui and Confucian ideals. The construction of the Forbidden City began in 1406 and took 14 years to complete. It was a monumental project involving over 1 million laborers and 100,000 skilled workers drafted across the empire. The project scale was unprecedented, requiring meticulous planning, coordination, and innovation. The materials used to build the Forbidden City were sourced from all regions of the empire. The city consists of 980 surviving buildings with more than 8,700 rooms. The largest hall, the Hall of Supreme Harmony, features 72 wooden pillars and golden dragons adorning its ceilings, emphasizing the emperor's divine connection. The Forbidden City was divided into two main sections, the outer court and the inner court. The outer court was reserved for ceremonial purposes, such as imperial examinations, banquets, and state affairs. It included iconic structures like the Hall of Supreme Harmony, the Hall of Central Harmony, and the Hall of Preserving Harmony. The inner court, on the other hand, served as the emperor's private residence and included the Palace of Heavenly Purity and the Imperial Garden. By 1420, the Forbidden City was complete, and Emperor Yongle officially moved the capital to Beijing. This monumental achievement marked a new chapter in Chinese history, establishing Beijing as the political and cultural heart of the empire. The Forbidden City would later serve as the home of 24 emperors across the Ming and Qing dynasties, witnessing centuries of power, intrigue, and transformation. It was called the Forbidden City because only the emperor, his family, and eunuchs were allowed access to the city. The punishment for unauthorized entry was immediate execution. In 1601, Matteo Ricci would later become the first ever European to enter the city, after being invited by the Wanli Emperor in recognition of his scientific expertise. Inside the Forbidden City, the emperor and his family lived in the inner court, which was divided into numerous palaces, gardens, and pavilions. As the Son of Heaven, he was both a political and spiritual leader. He performed sacred rituals to ensure harmony between heaven and earth, including offerings to ancestors and deities. He also presided over state affairs, issuing decrees, receiving officials, and making critical decisions about war, diplomacy, and governance. The empress, concubines, and other members of the royal family also lived in the inner court. The empress oversees the imperial household and participates in ceremonial duties. The concubines, selected through rigorous imperial examinations, lived in luxurious but often isolated quarters, competing for the emperor's favor. Also living inside the Forbidden City were the eunuchs who served as gatekeepers, messengers, and administrators. The Forbidden City was the stage for grand ceremonies that reinforced the emperor's legitimacy and the cosmic order. These ceremonies included coronations, weddings, and New Year celebrations. The Lunar New Year was marked by grand ceremonies in the Hall of Supreme Harmony, where the emperor would receive officials and bestow blessings upon the empire. By the late 19th century, the Qing Empire was already weakened by internal strife, corruption, and foreign aggression. The city's final days as a center of power came in 1912, when the last emperor, Puyi, abdicated following the Xinhai Revolution. This marked the end of over 2 millennia of imperial rule in China. Despite his abdication, Puyi was allowed to remain in the inner court of the Forbidden City under the terms of a special agreement. However, in 1924, he was expelled by warlord Feng Yuxiang, ending the palace's association with the imperial family. In 1925, the Forbidden City was transformed into the Palace Museum. The museum became a repository for China's cultural treasures, housing artifacts, artworks, and documents spanning centuries. Efforts to preserve and restore the palace began, ensuring its survival amidst political upheaval and war. In 1987, the Forbidden City was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its unparalleled cultural and historical significance.